Hi, this is Jason from thrivingtherapies.com, and here I have a client who's doing my online brain retraining program. So it's a 2-month program. She's been doing this for a while now, and I just basically want to share the results that she's getting from this. So Gwen, if you'd like to introduce yourself and just discuss all the main challenges and issues that you had, and what was it like at your worst as well?
Sure. So yeah, my name is Gwen, and I've had CFS for almost 9 years now. During the majority of the course of the illness, I developed it after pneumonia. I was probably functioning at about 50% capacity. I was, raising small kids. I was still working. I'm a nurse, so I was working part-time in a very sedentary job. And on my days off, I would be sleeping most of the time and just resting. So kind of fast forward to the last couple of months, I just had a series of stressful things that were happening. My mom was sick with cancer. I had a couple of flus that really knocked me down. And before I knew it, I just all of a sudden couldn't get out of bed. And I've never had that, been in that situation before for more than a couple of days where I couldn't get out of bed. And
right. Okay.
I actually, my heart was racing, and I actually had to go to the local emergency department. And when I would move, my heart would go up to like 160. And they said they were able to, they said they diagnosed me with POTS, because as most of us would know, with CFS, doctors don't have a biomarker to diagnose you with, but as soon as they see any kind of quantitative value, like, oh my gosh, your heart rate's 160, we can label that.
Yes.
That's a diagnosis, right? So I personally think I've had POTS the whole time. They got excited about it because they thought that, they found something.
Yes.
So I was started on a low dose medication called beta blocker to help kind of calm my heart rate down.
Yep.
They kept me in overnight, gave me some IV fluids, and sent me home. And I left in a wheelchair, and I've never, I was just so weak. So I got home, and unfortunately I happened to live in a split level house. So I made it up the stairs to the bed, and I stayed there in bed for 5 weeks. I was just too weak to get up. I couldn't even sit up because my heart rate would just go through the roof. Right. I think 2 weeks in, I made it to the bathroom, but that was 2 steps, then I would sit, and then 2 steps. And I was relying on my husband. He's actually a paramedic, and he had to take a month and a half off work to take care of me. And he would just, bring me food. And I was here I am thinking, okay, I'm kind of in a precarious situation here because, I'm bedridden. I have 2 kids that rely on me. It's COVID. I have no one. My husband has to go to work and be on the front lines. And then I have no family because everyone's quarantined. They shouldn't really be coming back and forth to help, right? So I kind of was desperate, and I had been following the CFS support group, for a while now. And I had it piqued my interest about the concept of brain retraining even before I ended up becoming bedridden. And so I listened to what Jason said, and I thought, holy smokes, is this for real? and my nurse brain was like, I don't think this is a thing. It doesn't make sense, right? Until I got in the program, and Jason, you explained the science behind it. There is actual science behind it.
Absolutely.
And so, out of desperation, my husband was skeptic too, because he's kind of got that medical background as a paramedic and firefighter. And we were just scratching our heads going could this really help? But when you're desperate and you're they can't offer you anything else in terms of, any kind of medical treatment. We just took a leap of faith and decided, okay, you know what, we're going to do this because, I'm looking at these little eyes coming in, looking at me, my kids and everything. I'm going I have to try something. I have to do something. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And so when you started then, so you're starting basically from bedbound, what were your kind of results with it? What were you noticing, and how easy was it for you to implement as well?
Yeah. So, it was really easy to implement, and that's one of the reasons why I chose to do the one-on-one training with you. Prior to this happening, it had piqued my interest, and I had actually ordered one of these programs, like it was the gupta program, but it was so overwhelming when you're so sick. The last thing you have the mental capacity to do is rifle through all that information or listen to all this information.
I remember as well.
Right? And I'm like thinking, how can I do that? So that's why I decided to do that. So I don't think I'm answering your question. I'm going off topic here, but
that's okay. That's fine.
So basically, like when you started the course with me, I just had it in my head. Okay, this is easy. I have to just keep saying these things over and over in my head. And that's what I did. And so I started out where I could just, visualization was so huge for me. I can't even believe how powerful mind over matter is.
Oh, incredible.
It's just wild. Like I couldn't even take more than 2 steps. And then I could, when I did the retraining, every time I would do it, I would just see a couple more steps and a couple more steps. And then I got to the point where I would get out. I physically was able to get outside of my room, and I would be on the landing. And then eventually I made it a couple more steps into my kids' rooms, and then a couple more steps, like just to stand by the stairs and hold on to the banister. And then I would go back to bed. And so every day and every week that passed, I just kept seeing myself go further and further. And I mean, I was really so weak though. Like in retrospect, I don't even know. I could see how I could just have stayed bedbound. Like, cause it was when you feel that sick, but when you have that motivation and that vision to push yourself and do it in a way it's that fine balance.
Compassionate as well.
We talked about that. About how you have to find that sweet spot of listening to your body, not pushing and crashing, but just understanding and kind of like getting that balance. So
absolutely. So it's using your mind to influence your body. So you're using it to really deepen your level of relaxation, engage the parasympathetic nervous system. You're also using it to increase your confidence and your natural ability to heal and to get better. And as you're doing that, then you're unlocking naturally more energy in your body.
Right.
Because your energy was going into your sympathetic nervous system before the stress response. But then as I was teaching you and you're learning how to switch that off and to switch on that healing state, then you're getting more energy, and then you felt like you're naturally able to do things. So it's kind of like you're building up that natural level of being able to do things before you actually decide to do it. So it's not pushing at all, really. It's super compassionate, and you're doing fantastic. So, and how long is it since we started?
I was trying to figure that out. I think are we going on to like 5 or 6 weeks, something like that?
I think it's just over a month now. Yeah.
Or is it just like a month? Weeks. Because I feel like it's just progressed so fast.
Yeah, I know. Like, exactly.
I just, when I first spoke to you, I thought, I don't know. I thought, I don't know if you're being really optimistic here when you're saying like you can really progress fairly quickly. And I thought, okay, well, all right, let's just do it. But I mean, I had goals. I remember saying like, oh my gosh, if I can just like be in my backyard by the spring and put my feet on the grass, like, oh my gosh, that would be such, like I'm thinking June, July. Like
right. You were thinking months and months away.
If I could just get, to be outside, because when you're inside for so long, right? Like, and I mean, and
here you are.
After 5 weeks, after 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, I was able to, I was downstairs watching movies with my family. I
remember that was a huge goal for you. I remember when you were setting that goal, you were thinking, that was like a wish or a hope for you.
Oh,
but then you were living it.
I thought, and then you actually said to me, you know what? Let me know when you make it downstairs. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
And so finally, the next week when we were doing our training, I was like, you're not going to believe this. I made it downstairs and I watched like a movie with my family. Like, so that was pretty incredible. And then it just progressed from there. Like every time I would do the training, I would get down another level of my house and I'd get into the kids' playroom and I've made it out to the backyard. Some of my visualization and retraining for when I'm in that relaxed state is I can visualize myself in this hammock that I have in my backyard that's in our gazebo.
Right.
And I'm there now. Like I never
you were
thought
visualizing
I
it
was
before,
just
but
like
now
in
you're
this
doing it.
dreamland of like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe one day I'll be there again, maybe by the fall or maybe by the summer. And I mean, like, it's the beginning of May and I'm there. I actually had a dilemma. I said, like, how do I, now what? Because like, if that's my visualization of where I want to be or where I could be, like, well, I'm already there now. So now I need to find a new thing, you know?
Yeah, visualizing further. Yeah, another step to your wellness. And I remember you were talking about you used to like count your steps. So you're doing, I think it was like 200 steps a day, and it went up to like 2,000 in a very quick period of time.
That was where it really really hit me, because like as a nurse too, like we just want to quantify everything. I'm like, I want numbers, I want like you know, like I want to know all that kind of stuff. So when I first started, it was like 200 on my watch, and and then the next, like I kept looking, and it was like, then I would go up to 800, then 1,000, then 1,200, and then before I knew it, I was up to, like, I had gone from 200s to 2,000, and now I've gone up to as high as like 2,800, like 3,000. So I mean, I know it's like I'm not quite at my baseline yet, but I mean, holy smokes, like if I've come this far, then
doing excellent, fantastic, completely on track. Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And
what did you do last weekend?
We went to the cottage, which again, I thought I was so down in the dumps, thinking like that's what we do with our kids every summer, is we go to the lake.
You're thinking you couldn't be able to do it this time.
I was. Right. It's 2 hours away, and I haven't even been in a vehicle, and so I kind of had been getting progressively better, and I thought, well, you know what, I guess, sorry, we're doing one of those Zooms where everybody's like, the kids are going to walk around naked right away, and my husband's yelling, and
all good.
My daughter's smacking, she was sitting right beside me here, and I'm thinking, oh, what's she going to do next? So I got to the lake, and it's 2 hours away, and I thought, you know what, we'll see how, like, we'll stay overnight and maybe see how I manage. And we ended up staying like 5 days. Like, it was just so awesome to get a change of scenery, just being outside on the deck. And, I even did like some small tasks, like help dry some dishes sitting down and unpack the cooler. And I'm like, it's just nice to have the, feel the progress.
Yeah, and sometimes those simple things make like such a massive difference. I know, I remember like just simply waking up in the morning feeling energy again. That was like a huge thing for me. When I started to feel that, it was like, wow, I knew I was totally on track. And excellent, fantastic. You're progressing so well. Excellent. You're putting in the work, and no wonder you're getting the results from it. So well done to you. And what are you looking forward to now?
So I just want to keep moving forward, whatever that looks like, to return as close, obviously I'm shooting for full recovery, but right now, even better, like but right now I'm just sort of just thinking one day at a time, and looking at, obviously I'd like to return to work. I just was doing that part-time, but it'll come. I think it's just, you just have to keep being positive. And one of the things that it was so huge that I didn't realize was mindset. Like, in the beginning, I just kept telling myself before I started with you, like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be like this forever. Everything's ruined. My life is ruined. And then it's really not. You just have to, like, once you flip that switch and realize that there's sort of always a way, it's there's going to be challenges. And I'm expecting, I know, there's going to be days where I go forward, where I go backwards, but there's hope for sure.
Absolutely. And the trend is going absolutely upwards for you.
Yeah.
And also there's going to be a point where the progression you've been making so far has been excellent. There's going to be a point where your progression goes exponential. Yeah. And that's going to happen quite soon for you. I know that. Wow. So looking forward to that. So we're going to catch up in the near future with that too. But yeah, thank you so much, Gwen, for this. And you're going to inspire so many people with your story, going from, from bedbound to where you are now already in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And brainwave training is an absolutely incredible thing. I was quite skeptical as well, in the beginning when I seen it first, but it helped
Yeah.
me to regain my health, complete health, 4 years ago now. And for anyone who's interested in learning more about my program, you can go to thrivingtherapies.com, or you can email me at jason@thrivingtherapies.com. Please share this video with people who really need it. There's people that are suffering with chronic fatigue. They don't realize that they can actually get better as well. So really share this with as many people as you can, because I want to help as many people as possible. It's my passion to do this, and loving helping Gwen here. So thank you so much, Gwen, and I hope you find some inspiration from this. And please share, like, and subscribe. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.